Beauty maintenance week continues over here at TWEEZING headquarters, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my full eyebrow grooming routine. So let's get into it. Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as I mentioned, it is beauty maintenance week here at TWEEZING headquarters. And for me, that means getting myself a little extra treatment and a little extra grooming in the places that need it, if you know what I mean. So I just did my nails, and we are now going to be doing my brows. This is going to be my full eyebrow grooming routine. I know the girlies are usually doing mini vlogs and taking you out and just full experience of spending the day with them for their beauty maintenance routines. However, I am a DIY, self-care, self-made beauty maintenance mama, and part of it is expertise and part of it is also I just don't have the time. So instead of just not having anything, I do try to really take some time and pour into myself a bit and give myself a little extra fine-tuning, you know, a little I was gonna say a little spit shine. So first, to start off with my brows, they've been growing in for a little bit now, and I'm not mad at them. No, it's this one. No, it's actually this one. One of them, on my last grooming session, I was on FaceTime with my baby sister. I say baby, but she's like an entire adult, okay? But my baby sister, and listen, I didn't know, the girl was working my last nerve and I was just trimming my little hairs, and she said something and I went, what? And fully sliced all of the hair off here, but it has grown in nicely. And I actually really like the shape of my brows that I'm seeing now. And I will say, even now, I'm sort of pausing. I don't know. I was going to laminate them. I usually do laminate them and then shape them, but I'm almost feeling like I don't want to laminate them. Is that weird? Let me tell you why. I just saw why. Okay, let's talk about it. Let me come closer. Does this look weird? I mean, I can zoom in, but I want, you know, like it's a FaceTime. I want to come closer to you guys. So my brows as they are right now, you see it's shaped, it's brushed, it's full, and this is just what it is, right? Now, if I laminate my brow, I love that I'm staying in this position. I feel cozy with you guys. So I really thought I could get through an eyebrow routine video without acting a fool, but apparently not. But here's what I just noticed. So if I laminate them, right, what's going to happen is the hairs are going to be lumped together in a way so that even when I brush them through, once they're laminated, they tend to be a little sparse-ish, a little spiky, you know, not as fluffy. Right, because that's what's happening now. So they're fluffy because they're natural, and usually I have a lot more curl on this end. Well, here's the thing. I've already set up all of this, and I feel like I can't just pop on here and tweeze it real quick and keep it moving, because then what are you guys watching? I gotta give you guys something to watch. So let's just do it. Let's go ahead in with the brow lamination and let me see how I feel about it. And moving forward, maybe I just actually won't do it anymore. This can be my last hurrah for it. This is the kit that I use. And of course, I will link this and all of the products that I'm using in the description of this video. But this is the kit that I use. I've used this kit quite a few times. I look for this kit specifically. I one time tried a different kit, and I promise you, I almost lost every single strand of my brow hairs. So I went right back to this kit, which was the first kit that I used, and I have not switched it up. And I think this is maybe my third or fourth kit. You do get enough for multiple applications. This is what it looks like when you open it. I've shared a few shorts on how I do my brow laminations. First step is a brow glue, and this is for brows that are like mine, or ethnic brows, or thick brows that tend to be curly and don't just sit straight. There's some brow hairs, once you just brush it up, it stays straight up. Because I do not have that type of brow, the glue helps to keep it in position. Now, I have tried to not use the glue. I have tried and just go in with the lamination, and then as it starts to soften, then I would brush it up in place and keep it moving. But I have noticed that the results are definitely not as good as when I do use the glue. So I am going to get that through. And then they include in this cute little box. Oh, I need to move really quickly, guys, because this will dry. This little spatula thing, it has like a little comb at the end. So I'm going to use this to push. Oh shit. I was not moving fast enough. Okay, it's fine. So we want to comb them up into place. And I usually really have to work on the tail end of my brow, because that is where the hair is most curly. You want to comb the curl out. If you're like me and you have curls on your brows, you want to comb the curl out, and you want the hair to be as stick straight as possible when you're doing this step, because you will perm the curl in place, and that is not what we want. And this is just to tell you just how thick and curly my brows are. It's fighting glue. It's quite literally fighting glue, and it's not wanting to stay in position. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same to the other side. And this time I'm actually going to take it into pieces, which is what I should have done. And same thing, just push it up. It's giving Wolverine. And just keep going. Our brows are glued up, looking crazy. Let's get on to step 2 before they start fighting the glue. And this is the little vial of our perming solution. This I am going to place over my brows with this little tool that the kit came with. And I'm just making sure that I am saturating with a nice layer and getting the base, the root on the other side. And of course you want to try and work as quickly as possible so you have close processing time. Now we are going to wrap our brows. Got some good old saran wrap. Setting a timer for 8 minutes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 8 minutes. All right. And remove. And I'm going to take a tissue and just wipe same on the other side. And this is what is going to set the straightener and prevent it from curling back up. And I am just doing the same thing, putting this through. Alright, and another piece of cling wrap, and I am just going to put this over top, set an alarm for 5 minutes.
So, shut up, do your duty to our country, and be happy.
Step, we're using a little cleanser that they include. You can use a micellar water for this step if you out of this from the kit, or if you just want to use something else. And I'm using a bougie cotton pad. Just gonna put this on here and I'm going to wipe everything away. And just brush through so we can see what we are working with. Let's do a little comparison on what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Notice that my brows now appear a little more sparse, and this is because the hair is much softer and it lays more flat, so it's not as fluffy, it's not as dense in texture and appearance. And I think that is what was giving me pause on doing the lamination, because I do think I miss the fluffy brows a little bit. But let's continue. So now that my brows are all lifted at the root, this is giving me a clear shape on how to tweeze and clean up the area. And also, just to let you guys know, when you're doing any sort of chemical treatment to your brows, like brow lamination, bleaching, lightening, anything like that, you want to do that first and then remove any hair in your shaping, because if you do that first, you risk irritating your skin, because you know, once you remove hair, you're removing hair from a follicle, so that's leaving that open, that's leaving that pore open and more susceptible to irritation from the brow lamination solution, the bleach and things like that. So again, pro tip, always do your chemical alterations to your brows first, and then you go into your hair removal portion. So for me, I am going to tweeze. I always tweeze, I do not wax. I am unable to thread. Unable to thread. So I've got my little TWEEZING rose gold tweezer, and it has a slanted tip. I don't like the pointed ones. Now, if you are going to be shaping your brows at home, especially with tweezers, I like to recommend you, if at all possible, to sit in front of a larger mirror and then have a handheld or magnifying mirror closer to you. That way you can alternate between the two mirrors to have better perspective. A lot of times we tend to get very hyper focused on one single brow, especially, you know, like if I'm doing a handheld, I'm really focused on just seeing one brow and I'm not getting the overall picture, and that's usually how you end up with one brow looking one way, the other one not looking a certain way. It is a little tricky to get brows perfectly symmetrical, but a big portion of that happening is because we're so hyper focused on one at a time that we're not looking back and seeing the big picture. Another tip that you can do is, before you start removing hair, take a white eyeliner, any lighter color, you could even do red, whatever color you want to do, and use that to trace the outline of your brow and what shape you would like. This also helps you stay in check and not get too fixated on any individual hairs that might happen. I am not going to do that because, again, one, I'm a pro, and two, because of the lamination, because it's going straight up from the root. I have a very clear and distinct guide as to my brows' natural shape. There's no, you know, sometimes brows might sit a little lower, the hairs, and you have to like keep them up like bangs and they don't want to stay up. The lamination lifts everything up so there's nothing hidden, so I can definitely see exactly what I need to do on each brow. To go in, I am going to, with my opposite hand, I am going to pull the skin taut, and that allows the tweezer to glide across the skin, and we're picking up here and we're not necessarily pinching at the skin. It allows me to go faster. Of course, take your time, don't rush. This is not something that you want to rush through, and it also helps to reduce the little pain level of tweezing that you may feel. And I am first just going to start with cleaning up hairs that are way below my brows, the ones that are creeping onto the lid. Okay, and that is the clean up. And now we will go into the actual shaping of the brows, and it really is just a minimal cleanup that's gonna happen at the base. And this one is done. I am going to trim, I don't know if you can see them, but there are a couple little stragglers. I'm not going to speak to you. I've already learned my lesson, so no talking while the scissors is in my hand. Now, I also like to leave my brow hairs a little longer so that I can do this and have a little comb over action. A little comb over action happening. Instead of keeping it up and just cutting it blunt, I don't like a buzz cut shaped brow. I like having enough here that I can smooth it over to the side so that it has a very soft edge, and I think that frames my face better and also looks a lot better with my signature makeup look, the way I like to do my makeup. So this brow is complete, and let's get into this side now. Comb over and see if there are any ends that we need to trim a little bit. Okay, and this is my brow shaped up from the reflection on the light. To do some treatment, some nourishing treatment to the brows. Now the kit, I'll show you, it does come with an oil and it says nutrition, but I never use this because I don't know what the oil is, and we're not playing. So I actually like to use one of my favorite facial oils. I am doing the Dr. Alcatis Organic Nourishing Treatment Oil, and you just take that and brush it through your brow hairs. And you want to do this every night or every other night, at least for the first week or so after laminating your brows. This is also great if you're lightening your brows too. Now, I also want to put out there a disclaimer for you guys. After you have done brow lamination, they cannot get wet for 24 hours or they will curl back up and honestly look crazy, and trust me, it really does. I'm just putting the rest of the oil on my skin, and honestly it does look crazy, so you really don't want to have that happen. So time it out for yourself. I've already showered, I've already washed my face, I don't have anything else to do. I'm going to try and avoid sleeping on my brow, because I've also found if I'm laying like this, if I get hot, then this end just curls back up, and it's always such a weird curl. It's not like the natural curl. So do your best. I actually would recommend doing this early in the morning. Like even if you're getting it professionally done, try and set an early morning appointment so that it has all of the time to set in by bedtime. And keep in mind, you can't wash your face, you cannot go to a sauna, you can't work out. Like, you really don't want to sweat, you want to just be chill. So again, if you're going out for an appointment, don't go out with a full face of makeup, because you have to figure out how to get that off, because you're not going to go to sleep with your makeup on. Okay, what I do, because I'm wearing sunscreen when I go out, because I do sometimes get it professionally done, when I do go out, I use a face halo and my oil cleanser to get my sunscreen off, and I go around, I make sure I go around, and I double cleanse the same way, very gently, you know, avoiding the whole brow area, and the same with all my products. And then I go to, if there's any excess glue, I can feel a little bit here, just go ahead and wipe that away with the oil that you're using on your brows, because again, do everything in your power to not get it wet for 24 hours after your treatment. And I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me and doing my brows for Beauty Maintenance Week. If you're interested in hanging out with me more and checking out some more of my content, have a look at this next video, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.